All right, what is going on, guys? Evan Aldo here. Wanted to give you an update on the markets. Wanted to show you what we've been doing kind of lately in the Aldo Empire VIP Discord. CBZ had a really nice Bitcoin short in yesterday, the other day. Kind of beautiful with that, I believe, bearish div right there that he was looking at. Took some profits there on it, and I believe he entered. Yeah, always shows the trade. I got to start doing that with the actual leverage. A lot of work. So shout out to CBZ putting that in, posting the picture and all that too. So check it out if you guys are interested. A link down below to the Aldo Empire VIP Discord. We've got Lanacor, KMAC in there as well, and obviously myself. So check that out if you guys are interested. Let's get into the analysis right now. I'll give you the update kind of on the market, what could potentially happen. So in the very short term here, if you look at our 30-minute, 16 bull on the 30-minute. Bull div confirmed after a decent kind of drop down. And if you zoom out here a little bit, I believe if we probably could draw a fib level and, look at where we are right now. Yeah, you're hitting a fib level, number one. And number two, you're kind of, prices sticks to this point. This is a pretty big point, significant place where we could see somewhat of a bounce. You also are seeing a hourly bullish div printing right here. 10 bull isn't extremely strong, but the 16 bull and the 30 does make me think that we can come up a bit more in the short term, potentially up to here, 27.6 maybe. But be careful because we are seeing, potentially a trigger wave, another one forming right here on the 16-minute that could obviously bring us down further. And I mean, we are hitting the fib level, but it's not like a huge level. After that, the DBSI area is huge right here. And then after that, these spider lines right here around 26.3 are going to be pretty big as a place to continue to potentially come down to. So that's a huge place to look at. If we look at some of the higher time frames, 18 bear on the 12-hour, not a bearish div, but money flow looks like it wants to come down a bit further. And then if you look at potentially the daily here, I mean, you are seeing, let's see, VWAP starting to come down, but money flows coming up a little bit conflicting. Maybe suggesting some consolidation here. And then if we look at the real high time frames, this is probably where more of the bullish case does come in because your gap to RSIs are kind of coming up here on the 3-day. The 2-day as well, money flow is coming up. In the weekly, you are seeing some type of trigger wave kind of come up. But obviously with the weekly, I was talking about this yesterday. Look at right here, this trigger wave in October of 2019 in the last pre-halving year. As soon as that confirmed, that was a beautiful kind of sell signal. So that's what we could be kind of starting here as well. And that's what we got to be careful about. So if we look at some of the real short time frames, I'm just curious on how it, it's a load here. Let's see. Just curious about how it kind of looks on the 10-minute right there. I mean, this formation, you're kind of seeing a rounding bottom type thing potentially. So we could get, like I was mentioning, a jump up to 27.6 I think is pretty likely here. Above that, we got to see. Ultimately, though, for the more bearish, outlook that I think we will see, this money flow crossover on the hourly could come deeper, could bring us lower here in the short term from what I'm looking at. If we move on to Ethereum as well here, obviously very similar, 22-minute coming up, trigger wave, doesn't look half bad. Same thing with the 30 right here. That's kind of coming up with the money flow, trigger wave. RSIs, they're gapped apart, but they look like they want to come up a bit more. 17 on the bull right there. Does not look too bad. Same thing, confirmed hourly bull div right there. I believe that's an hourly bull div. Yeah. So I could see, 1666, probably not the greatest number, but that area or these wicks right here, 1669 around there. If you do break upward from this kind of formation from here, from the, let's say this is the neckline or whatever, back to that spider line does seem possible in the short term here. Now, if we look at some of the higher time frames, also got an anchor wave on the 2-hour. Looks like you could come up a bit more potentially. And then when you zoom out, obviously the spider line placement moves down a little bit, I believe. It moves down a bit. So it actually looks like we're hitting this point and potentially forming a trigger wave. I don't know if that's going to give us too much here. You also got a 14 bear on DBSI. Excuse me. on the 6 hour right there, a 19 bear on the 12 hour as well. So we gotta keep in mind, keep an eye on that. Based on those things, I think it's possible we could come down farther. When you look at the weekly, just like Bitcoin, 15 bull, that looks pretty good, but just like Bitcoin, that green dot on Bitcoin in 2019 brought you back down. Now, it was different in 2019 here, back in October 2019. It was more of a trigger wave, but it could be kind of like, that. Not too much lower. It's not below the green line there where you would get like a deep anchor wave, which are usually a bit more powerful. So you're not there quite yet. So that's essentially Ethereum. In terms of Ethereum, I think the swing short kind of situation here would make the most sense. Can you come up higher to potentially test these higher areas? I don't think it's too likely with how everything else looks. That would be a really good thing for crypto, especially with traditional markets kind of coming down right now. But I'm not really, at this moment, anything could happen obviously, but I'm not really seeing it happen at this moment. Bitcoin Cash, wanted to look at this because CBZ had a nice short with it. It's an interesting one. Obviously got this jump out of nowhere, back in June, and came down. Now it's starting to recover a bit. This formation is not directly not directly bearish to me. Like kind of rounding this, that could be more of a bullish formation overall, in my opinion. But when you get to kind of some of these time frames here, 17 bear and confirmed, it's a good catch by CBZ, confirmed bear div right there. It does look like you come all the way back down to 206 or something, especially if the rest of crypto goes come down. I mean, this is kind of a textbook, market cipher shorting strategy. Bear div confirmed on your 8 hour, and you're with your DBSI at an 18 right there. It looks like this can probably continue short term, like Bitcoin and ETH though. Bull div right here in the 30. If we do look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow X's. Look for 4 or 5 yellow X's. Some sell exhaustion, 5 yellow X's. Bull div here. You might get some more. You might get something in this short term. That's essentially what I'm looking at here. So a lot of the crypto market short term looks like you'll see some relief. And then after that, it kind of looks like most likely things will come down a bit more. Let's move on to traditional markets. Or actually before that, I just wanted to show you guys ETH Bitcoin is interesting. I think I looked at it in the video yesterday, but generally, just keeps bleeding against Bitcoin here, as do most of the altcoins right now. I mean, you got a 19 bear in the daily, red X right there, and that's generally what we've seen through a lot of this year. Down, 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 you know what I mean? Just all drops down. So we might be at this general area pretty soon, regardless of whether Bitcoin keeps going up or whether Bitcoin keeps going down. I think regardless, ETH has got more time to bleed against it. When could it bottom out? When's the time to buy, Ethereum? Well, I talk about this in my completely free course on evanaldo.com, my free crypto DCA course. There's a paid course and a free course, but the free course goes over this 100% free for the DCA course. Simple strategies. And I kind of go over, where we could potentially kind of bottom out against Bitcoin. And it looks like, you could do this based on money flow, something like that. And that could bring you a bit down significantly here. And that's what a lot of things kind of look like. I don't know if it's going to come down 35 or 40% against Bitcoin, but I think it's going to come down more than it is now. And if we look at kind of Bitcoin dominance a little bit here, this looks like it could continue forward as well. VWAP coming up on the 2-week. These RSIs, I think, are going to get to where the height they were back in September of 2019, and you may see that by the end of the year. So I think we got a few months of this coming up a bit more, and then I think that's where we're going to see this potentially kind of peak out, potentially our place to get into altcoins. Moving on to traditional markets a little bit, S&P 500 making a lower low here, lowest we've been since June, which wasn't that long ago. But you are kind of looking very bearish overall. 3-day 17 on the bear. That blood diamond is playing out pretty nicely. Bullish case is if you do come up with this kind of trigger wave right here. However, what I'm kind of guessing is you may see something like more like that, where if you do come down farther, you get down to this point with that and create that anchor wave. 16 bear on the monthly. The monthly does not look good by any means. I consider that a trigger wave on the way down. So, does crypto, just perform well while the S&P 500 goes down? Probably not. Probably not yet. Man, this 10-hour looks so bad. 21 bear, double yellow X's. Nothing too good at all right there for the S&P 500. And last but not least, let's just talk about the NASDAQ a tiny bit here. And that was kind of some type of real long, swing short opportunity that I'm kind of looking at. Definitely not as bad in like the DBSIs and the high time frames here. I mean, you're even seeing some that are kind of bullish on some of these time frames. But when you look at money flow, man, money flow in VO coming down to that 16, looking terrible right there. Same with the 12. And then when you get down to your 6 hour, oh man, 23 blood diamond, not so good. Not so good at all right here. So that's ultimately what I'm looking at in the NASDAQ, like Bitcoin though, like a lot of things, Short term, bull div in the 22, scalp long or something, and markets are, well, futures, you could do the NASDAQ futures, those markets are priced still open, but yeah, ultimately, that's what I'm looking at on the NASDAQ right now. If you guys do want to trade, check out, we are doing a promo that we do every week with MEXC right here. You get a $200 futures trading bonus with my referral link in description below. These were the two people that won it last week, these UIDs, and somebody acknowledged it. Let's see, and let's see, MEXC bonus right here. So yeah, and we are doing the 7-day free trial for the Aldo Empire Discord as well. The link is down below for that. But yeah, so you guys could try it out for 7 days. You got to cancel it before then if you don't want to get charged. But yeah, so really appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Smash the like button. Goodbye.